We've had a good pre-season now. We're really ready for that first game of the season against Forest Green. We're chomping at the bit for sure. I think as players, you come in for pre-season, you get your head down. It's going to be tough, certainly the first few weeks. And then you start getting the practice games going and starts getting a little bit more real. And again, for us, we've had this target as our first game. We know the importance of it. One, just to have a competitive game, which again brings its own added bit of intensity to it. And again, from our point of view, that's been our real focus, leading up to it and building into the game. So the lads have been brilliant. I think pre-season's gone as well as it could have done, barring a few little niggles. To a couple of the younger lads, the squad's pretty much intact. Most of the boys have completed it all. Injury free, which again is probably the biggest thing moving through pre-season. And we've got a real strong squad. I really feel that that's going to be a massive factor for us this season. Of course, everyone wants to start that first game. Not everyone is going to, but it's going to be how that squad's managed. But from where I'm sitting, we're in a really, really good place and can't wait for the game tomorrow.
Travelling to the new lawn to face them, particularly in the first half of last season, Forest Green were a really strong side. This game can be a real kind of indicator of what's to come in the league and what we're capable of starting in the league next week.
Yeah, for sure. I think when you have opposition drawn as we have from the same league, it's certainly a chance for a team that, as you say, was very much up there for a large majority of last season to see where we're going to be at. Of course, it's early days, and whether it goes fantastically well or not as well as we want, nothing's going to be decided, or no one's going to be getting too carried away either way. But yeah, certainly you want to go and start the season in a positive vein. For me, performance, of course, is vitally important. And obviously being a cup competition, it's about getting through to the next round. So, we're expecting a tough test. Again, we know a lot about them. We've come up against them. So we'll be as prepared as we need to be. I'm sure they'll be doing, the work that they need to going into the game. And it's probably a good game in that respect, that it is going to be like another league game. It's not as if we're going to a championship team or maybe a League One team that we're not going to play in a regular season. So yeah, it can be a good marker for certainly how pre-season's gone, and potentially for, hopefully from our point of view, getting off to a good start and how the season's going to go for us.
The game will be soon followed by the EFL Trophy against Brighton. 3 games within a week. This season, there's going to be a real need for the squad to everyone to be ready.
Yeah, it's something we've spoken about as a big group with all the staff and the players, but also as a playing staff as well. We've had a few chats about the importance of the squad, managing that through, and obviously Ross has made it clear that there will be times where the team will be getting changed. Keep a freshness. We've got a good squad, we have to use it, and it's about obviously the boys dialing into that and taking things as they are sometimes. Again, if you're not necessarily starting tomorrow, there's another game Tuesday, then another game Saturday. So we've just got to be as prepared as we can whenever, however long we're needed for, whether it's starting, coming off the bench, and really try and utilise the strength in depth that we've got. I think there'd be a few clubs that are not in the same position, that because of everything that's gone on, a little bit less organised than we are probably going into the start of this season. So we've got to try and capitalise on that and start the season well. But for me, we've done it a few times where we've had internal games or training games. You can put 2 teams out there and it's always a real good battle. So for me, again, going through the season, we're going to get injuries, you're going to get a suspension, maybe a bit of loss of form. Whoever then steps in, the level will never drop. And I think that's the key to having a successful, prolonged season, is you have that competition for places, and we've certainly got that in this squad.
We touched on it in the last interview, but for you personally, you came back against Cambridge after a long layoff, and then you've had another one with COVID-19. You must be buzzing to get going.
Yeah, it's been, again, a frustrating period for me as a footballer, of course, but with everything else going on, around it, you have to put it in perspective a little bit. And again, my main thing was getting back first and foremost, because there were times where, particularly after the first operation wasn't very successful, there were doubts, whether I'd even get back on a pitch. One, if I did get back, could I get back to the level I wanted to? I've always been on record as saying I'm not going to be hanging around here, you know, if I can't have an impact first and foremost as a footballer, and of course, you know, in and around the dressing room. So yeah, I was delighted to get back, but it also gave me, and it was really good for me at my age, because I needed that kind of tick, that little bit of buzz that I still love it. I still was desperate to get back. I was still buzzing to get on the pitch, and everything that came around, you know, being involved in a first team game, which really then helped me through COVID. I think if I didn't have that, even that 25 minutes or so against Cambridge, I might have been in a slightly different place mentally, because there might have been a bit of doubt there. You know, I would have had to come back off the back of that, come into pre-season. Did I think I could get through another pre-season at 38? And, you know, but that real, again, feeling that I got from that Cambridge game was enough for me to go, right, yeah, I've still got that drive, I've still got that ambition, I will keep pushing myself. And I've really, really enjoyed it. And, you know, I just want to hopefully, you know, play a big part on the pitch this year, you know, and get going. You know, COVID was COVID again. You know, there was difficulties, of course there were, but we've been very much looked after at this football club. So, you know, for me to get out and keep ticking over, particularly working so hard to get back, I didn't want to throw that all out the window. And yeah, man, I think everyone, again, you know, this is obviously a personal question, but I've got to say the lads have been magnificent. You know, everyone's come back in outstanding condition, given the length of time we were off. And I think that's gone into us having such a good pre-season. So, no, we're all ready, raring to go, and can't wait for the game.